guitar is not there, na. In office also, na, I always play music.
Yeah.
I mean, either softly or not. Like I'll always play. I mean, my laptop and my speaker I'll carry everywhere, na. Say I love you.
A very good morning, sir. I think your morning has started very early.
Yeah, I'm an early riser, so it starts very early.
There's one thing I want to ask you, sir. How was your childhood like? Are you a naughty kid or a mischievous or a very studious one?
I wasn't naughty. I mean, to the best of my knowledge, I wasn't naughty. Okay, I mean, this is subject to how my, my parents would have described me. But I wasn't the naughty type. Perhaps a little serious. I was, always into studies also. And my activity nature came from my dad. So he was an early riser. He used to take me for a walk. That really, picked up in me. I inculcated that habit.
Like being such a senior officer, how do you balance your personal and professional life?
Well, that's a very good question. In fact, it's not easy to balance our professional life and personal life, especially being a cop. I don't know about other services, but ours is it's quite challenging, and especially in a troubled, a disturbed states like Manipur. When we were SPs, that was even more challenging because it requires being posted outside from Imphal. So then my family stays back here. So I was all alone and looking after this districts. And those were also the tough days when insurgency was at its height. So it was quite tough balancing personal life and professional life. Today, I think things are a lot better and it's much easier to balance. In fact, I'm happy that I'm able to, follow my passion of I like being fit, so I work out in the morning. Sometimes I go for a jog. Sometimes I just play around and do light workouts, calisthenics. Occasionally I go and play badminton. Sometimes I go and play football also. So, I mean, it's nice that, I'm able to have time for such things. Then, of course, I follow my hobby of playing guitar. You might have seen, I learned everything today because thanks to internet, thanks to YouTube, I'm very happy. I mean, I don't know about others, but internet I use to my advantage.
Wow. I think standing beside you, I was feeling shy because my stomach is there and you're so fit. But I want to ask you, as we're talking about internet, and we all saw how amazing you were playing the guitar, and you said I learned it from YouTube. Do you also explore the young talents, what happening? Because nowadays a lot of youth takes creativity as their profession. So do you explore, and what do you feel like being such a senior officer? How is the youth going on nowadays?
I find that just as when I show interest and be inquisitive and learn things from YouTube and Googles and other things, I think the youth today also, a lot of them are very, very creative. In fact, I mean, more than us, they pick up very fast in many things that they do or they learn from YouTube and other videos, And this is a platform, I think, which all of us should take advantage of also. Today, a person who is, enterprising, a person who has ideas, he can develop that ideas further from, what is available in the internet, no? And it's amazing. I mean, you can do so many things just trying to learn things online also. Of course, I mean, I won't say it's the best thing, but it's the next best thing that is available.
So you feel nowadays youth are also going in a right way?
This will be very subjective because I know there are many who have really benefited from the advent of the technology. I know equally because we're cops, so we know a lot of things. So I also know many who are misusing technology, whether it is social media or otherwise, you know.
Okay, we all see you today. How's sir's daily life going on? I know, sir, you it will be now taking some wear your dress uniforms, and we will see you all there. So there's a question that I always wanted to ask. Like being one of the senior most officer, a lot of youth goes through lots of ups and downs in life, and this comes of anger management and how to control your ego when things are against you. What will be your suggestion towards them?
I don't know. Managing anger is perhaps it depends from person to person also, and this can only come from patience, you know. And luckily, it's not that I train myself to be patient with myself, but from my younger days, I have a lot of patience. So that has helped me even right now in the job that I am in. You know, sometimes it's stressful. Sometimes you're under a lot of pressure, yet you still have to compose yourself, and then manage to smile also, and at the same time manage whatever pressure and anger or like anything that you're facing. Okay, and this can only come from discipline. You have to be very disciplined in a lot of things, and if you're disciplined in life, okay, you can even control your anger. You can control your various other issues, and perhaps if you channelize a lot of your anger, if you channelize a lot of your stress also in other ways, like physical activities, taking a walk, perhaps sometimes just taking a break briefly and enjoy the the scenery, and again in your physical activity, it could be yoga, it could be meditation, it could be just normal exercise. That helps you bust the stress, and that helps you control your anger and the anxiety, whatever that you can face. This has really helped me also. I, for one, like in the morning, when I work out, at the end of my workout, I do stretching, and then I do a little bit of meditation. In fact, I just stay still for at least 5 minutes. I take a deep breath, and then I'm ready to face the day, and like I feel happy about it also. That's how it is.
On a personal level, I have seen your discipline. Like from the morning you were jogging. I have followed you from the morning today, and your diet. Are you a foodie person?
Not really. I mean, like, I'm not a very foodie person. Though I like trying out, like new food stuffs. Especially when we travel outside, I would like to really. I'm curious. I like to try out, food stuffs. But it's not that, like, I go out and eat
Street food.
Street food. Perhaps I think that once in Bangkok, I think I had really tried out street foods there in Malaysia also. But then, that's in general. I mean, I have my own diet, which I follow strictly. Not much of oil, a lot of vegetables, fruits, yes, and not much of meat.
I won't take much of your time. You were getting late, so we'll see you in the office.
Okay, chalo. See you.
So, being one of the senior most officers, I have this question to ask you. You need to work with a lot of officers and other people from your department. तो हर किसी की अपनी अपनी तरीका होता है उनको समझाना, उनको लेके काम करना. How do you manage that, and how do you feel to get into it?
That's a very interesting question. See, every one of us are different in our own ways, okay? And like, there will be officers, not necessarily officers, there will be people that you come across, especially in your service. There are those who are, I would say, like temperamental, and there will be those who are quick to anger. There are those who are like picking up slowly. So you come across all kinds of officers and men who work with you. So I'm, again, like I said, I'm a very patient man, and I study people. I look at the person. Okay, this is his strength, this is his weakness. So I examine all those things. Then usually, if it's the first time, I give them lectures on the things that they should be aware of and how to deal with certain situations. And if he is from a different place and coming here, again, how he should adjust, like needs to learn the language. That's the first thing, you know. It's very important that you know the local language, and then again, that will help you in understanding your men and the others who are going to be working under you, and that will also help you in being able to converse with the local population. Okay, it's very important for us, especially in the civil service. And then, like in the course of working with officers of different backgrounds, of different natures, I try to, you know, like exploit the strength, their strength. Okay, this person is good in this. I'll utilize him in this particular work. And that way, even a person who seemingly is useless sometimes, within the rank and files of men, he'll always have something that you can use, you can put into good use. And I mean, I never waste manpower simply because somebody says that this person is of no good. I never waste. I try to find out in what things that this person is good at, and accordingly I utilize him. So this is very important, because that way, if you, I mean, suddenly you find that somebody is not able to execute or do the work that you assign, then you may just get angry and say this officer is of no use, or useless person. I don't say people are useless. I look at the person. Perhaps he needs to be told this way. Perhaps I need to tell him, or perhaps I should show him the example and tell him to do likewise. It's the same with my staff. When they don't know, I call them, I teach them. Do it this way. This is the better way. Now go back and do it. If they make the same mistake, again I tell them, don't do it like that. Of course, if they make repeated mistakes, I would say that, you know, I'll pull them up. But in general, they don't make the same mistake again and again. So that's how I make them learn things. I mean, just because I'm new to the place and I like my way, I cannot just impose myself that, you know, like, do this, do that. I don't shout. If you happen to talk to any of my junior officers, I never shout them. I tell them, I teach them also the things that I know from my experience. From my experience, I've learned this like that. And it's the same, like that instinct survival also you need to know, and you also need to adapt yourself to the environment that you are working in, you know. Especially police working environment, it differs from place to place also. In some places you need to have a very good police-public interaction that helps you in solving a lot of problems also. These are the things I keep telling junior officers that come.
I think they also get a chance to learn from you.
Sure, I'm sure about that, because I also learn a lot from my seniors. So I mean, we pass on the things that they should know also. It's the same when I joined also. There are some seniors very helpful who used to guide me, tell me when a certain situation comes, deal this way. They tell me. I learn from them. I would also like that the junior officers and others also, they learn from us the good things, things that later on they can, you know, replicate and, you know, like do the same.
Definitely. So, sir, as you were saying, I don't know how to ask you. I have to ask you what you feel about Hemant, sir.
You're talking about Mahesh Narayan Hemant Pandey.
Yeah.
It's a very long name. It's a good officer.
He was the one who like helped me to get out. Like he first time let me come here.
He's a good officer. In fact, yeah, I mean, when he joined, perhaps he was little in a rush here and there. But like that happens when we were young, when we just joined the service, very highly into, and you have to get adapted. He's also adapted well, and he's doing well, and I have a good impression of him.
So, sir, we all have a different sort of hustle in our personal life. Like what I know about you, you used to work in Mumbai before coming into this profession. You have seen that life.
Yeah.
So, there are a lot of challenges we go through. If you can share, what are the challenges you faced?
Okay, you know, when I appeared for the civil service, I was in Delhi University. First time I appeared, I cleared the prelims, I cleared the mains, and then I went for the interview. Somehow the interview didn't go well, and I didn't get through the finals. That was very, very disappointing.
Yeah.
And then I did a soul searching of a lot of things, and then I realized perhaps I've not put in enough effort. Then I also have a lot of friends from Bihar who are very hardworking. In fact, I find that in civil service, Bihari friends, they are the most hardworking people. They can study for 16, 17 hours. Whereas I was just putting 7, 8 hours only. No? I said, I mean, if they can put in that much, I will also try. Maybe not 17, 18 hours, but definitely more than 13, 14 I'll try like that. No? And that was a turning point. If they can do it, I can do it. What's so difficult that somebody can do it that I cannot do? That was the impetus. So in between, when I joined the Reserve Bank, I was still appearing for the civil service, and it became more challenging because I was working also. But I remember that. So when I took leave and prepared for my exams, 16, 17 hours I tried and I managed.
16, 17 hours.
Yeah, and like I became more systematic. I put the past 10 years question papers on the wall, and then I'll take and have to really narrow down, especially during the mains. So all those things I did. And in Mumbai the challenge was, again, you don't get all the materials that you require for civil service preparations, because essentially Mumbai is a commercial city with perhaps more of business oriented and so many other things. But unlike Delhi and all that, so I used to order my reading materials from Delhi, even magazines I order from there, and then while working, I'll make notes. Even while traveling the local train, you have seen how busy the local trains are. Like even while boarding the train and while standing also, I'll take out my notes and read.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll do like that, and I don't waste a single time. I realize the value of time. I'll put it back. When working, the moment I get a tea break, again I'll take out my notes, I'll go through it. Such a big note, I have to keep reducing into lines and fewer links I make. So, and how we all adapt to study. But the biggest challenge, even that time, was during my exam I was sick. I was not well, I was hospitalized. And can you imagine? So even while I was in the hospital, I took out my notes and read. The doctor was amazed. What are you doing? So I'm preparing for civil service. My exam just a few weeks away. But you're not well. You take rest. Yeah, I'm taking rest. I was doing like that. And those were the things that I had gone through. It was very, very challenging. And by God's grace, I got through the civil service, and I was happy. Whatever service I got the police service, I joined the service. Things like that, you come across in life, and that gives you an idea that hard work beats everything. You may not necessarily be the best of brains, but if you're hardworking, you can beat the best of brains also.
Like cracking UPSC is a dream for many. You know?
Yeah.
Somewhere, do you feel that is a dream you are living right now?
To be very frank, like my dream was always to be in the business line.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So in 11th to 12, I took commerce. I did BCom honors in Sri Ram College of Commerce, the best college in the country. But because of parents' persistence that I should at least write the civil service. So I like later tried the civil service. Otherwise, I wanted to do MBA or chartered accountant. I was already preparing for my CAT exams and all that.
Retirement plan is coming soon.
So these are the things. That's why I would say that. But in a way, the civil service is very challenging, especially the police service, and that too in a place like the Northeast here, Manipur. It's very challenging, and you get to know variety of things. You get to experience variety of. Manipur is like a mini India. Crimes also, different crimes of different types of crimes that you come across here. Big agitations you come across. Whatever you face in Manipur is also just similar to what you face in J&K. The militancy here also, it's there, and the agitation, it's there, and then again, normal crimes also taking place, kidnappings also taking place, and then crime against women are also there. Whatever is happening in some parts of the country, like it's also happening here. So it's a big learning place. I tell officers who got this cadre that if you are posted in Manipur, after a while if you go to any other state, you are a better person because you would know more than others.
Yeah.
Because of the learning experience here.
But sir, like you were born in Manipur, like you are also a Manipur person, but being a Manipur guy to the administration of Manipur, do you think it helps in some way?
Of course it does. There's an advantage and a disadvantage. The advantage is that because you're a local, perhaps you have a better perspective and understanding of the local situation, and that really helps. But sometimes, because you're a local person, maybe people may just think that like you'll be subject to pressure, or when I say pressure, it can be many ways. So even local pressure, or even otherwise. But once you establish yourself as being straightforward and fair, and once you create that impression, it doesn't really matter whether you're local or non-local. People will have faith in you, come to you, approach you, talk to you, because they trust you, they believe you. And that's very important. And I'm lucky that in my field days, I was able to do that. And so I got a lot of cooperation from the public, regardless of the community, the place where I work in. So that really helped me.
There's one thing I always wanted to ask to all the people, and especially when I got a time from you, that do you believe in miracles? Because why? I never thought that I will get that opportunity to do a podcast with you. That's all I dreamed someday, but it's happening. So if we think about something, it's happened in future. Do you believe that?
In a way, I believe in karma also. And what you say when you talk about miracles, now I'll give you an example. Since I joined the service in the thick of the insurgency here. I have been ambushed 4 times. Okay, I have lost men and like directly ambushed by militants. I have survived that. I would call those incidents as a miracle for me. I wasn't meant to die at that point of time. Okay, I may have unfortunately lost some men and some of my boys injured, and definitely very close. The same vehicle, my driver, all of us, and then the vehicle is hit with bullets, and like one of my chaps injured, but the driver also is stirring, wheels all filled with bullets, but he is also not hurt, I'm also not hurt. Things like that has happened, and then IED blast, and then it just missed my vehicle and hit the other, lost men like that. I would call all those miracles, because I mean, what else? Otherwise, I would have been dead long ago. These are things that I mean, like I find that are miracles, everyday miracles. Okay, and when you talk about, I mean, like meeting here, in Manipur police, we believe in being accessible. We are very accessible. Whether it is right from the SHO or the SP or the DIG, IG, even our DG, everyone is, for that matter, even our Chief Minister here is very accessible. We are all very accessible. That helps us in, like finding the grievances being answered or attended to properly and timely also. Yeah. And that's one way of discharging our duties properly.
I don't know what to say, sir. I'm really thankful that you gave me time. I won't take much of your time. There's one last self-obsessed question that I want to ask. That is, how you felt like doing this podcast with me, or if you have any feedback for me, you can also share. It will help me to grow.
Well, this is my first time. I mean, like somebody's doing a podcast, but it's a good experience, and I think it's a good idea, because someday somebody somewhere will view this and perhaps they can learn from us also, from our experience or whatever we are saying. And I mean, it should be useful. My feeling is that what I speak now and say now also should be useful to some viewers. And to that extent, you're doing your team, you and your team are doing a great job, because that will ultimately help not just your work, but also in disseminating this to the larger audience, no? And it should be that it should be taken in a good way, where like people will, oh, this is a very good podcast, this is a very good learning point that I can, or perhaps this is inspiring. I mean, people should be able to say that, and really, it's nice.
Thank you so much, sir, once more for giving this time and opportunity. I won't take much of your time. Just you be like this every day. You are an inspiration for all the youth like us. Thank you.
Thank you.